This is a title called Tokyo School Life that was just released for the Nintendo Switch a couple days ago. Uh, it's nothing too terribly special going by the screenshots. It's a pretty run-of-the-mill harem visual novel. The only reason I really paid attention to it is because in their marketing copy here, they do claim as a feature that it does have features that are useful for studying Japanese through the game. So I was interested in the game for that reason. I just wanted to make a quick video of what those features actually are in practice, so others can make the decision whether or not it's actually worth it to them and whether they actually want to bother buying it for that purpose. The screenshots give you this particular image that basically covers the entirety of the feature, but for the sake of argument, I will demonstrate how it actually works in-game. This game was actually initially released back in 2015 for PC, I believe, so it's not a totally new game by any means, but it was just released on the Switch, which is probably a good platform for something like this. So here is the actual title running. Basically, this is what they give you. You can see in the options here. As you saw in that one screenshot, there are basically two display areas. You can set what language and what way of displaying the language is used for each of those display areas independently. Now, in most cases, probably what you're going to want is Japanese for the main language, and then English as an optional separate language, but you can do whatever combination you want if for some reason that's better for your purposes. One thing it does not support is actually entering the protagonist's name in kana, as far as I can tell. Unless it's really well hidden in the Switch keyboard here, but basically what happens, as you saw in the screenshot, is it will display the secondary language you choose up in the top left corner, so it's not quite directly in your view. If you want to try to translate or understand the main text on your own without referring to the English translation, there's no immediate way of turning that on and off if you want to hide it until you're ready to look at it. You can, at any point in the game, go into the options menu, turn it off, and jump back into gameplay. So if you really want to just turn it on at specific times, you can do it that way, but it takes a fair number of clicks to actually make it happen. You will see that there are furigana above the kanji there. That's something I haven't seen in too many Switch games, so it's nice to see. Now, I personally am trying to stop relying on furigana, but for some it may be helpful. Yeah, that's a good one. Just getting to a slightly longer line of text here so you can see the differences. As noted in the description of the title earlier, and as you saw on the options screen, it also lets you display not just in kanji, but also in hiragana and romaji. So, just to show what that looks like. I don't think those features are too terribly useful myself. Maybe someone else will find them helpful, but the hiragana display option, it looks like it's just directly converting from the furigana, and they just kind of have them run together. They don't put any spacing in between. So if you want to learn why kanji are actually important in written Japanese, this will probably help you figure that out. Beyond that, I think it would be a bit of a pain to try to parse that wall of text. Again, maybe if you're not worrying about kanji, it would help you in some way. Similarly, the Romaji display option, they kind of run the compounds together quite a bit into a kind of intimidating wall of text. They don't separate particles very well. I don't know. I don't read Romaji enough to know if that's helpful or not, but maybe it is. And they don't use capitalization or anything either to break it up, so it still kind of has that wall of text feeling to me. Whatever. Note, of course, that you don't necessarily have to have just English and Japanese as your two options. If you wanted to, you could do something like display kanji for the main language and then the Romaji equivalent in the subtext, if you really wanted to. That's really the extent of it. There's nothing beyond that, no further information or lookup or anything. It's just a secondary display option you can turn on and off. One other thing you will have noticed is that there is no voice acting so far. You're not able to actually listen to the Japanese text and practice your listening skills. There is voice acting in the game, though. I'm just going to have to fast forward a bit to get to it. Eventually. Yeah, there you go. It takes that many lines of text into the game before you actually get any voice acting. It seems like what they did is they just recorded the dialogue for the female harem members. The protagonist himself gets nothing, because the protagonist is supposed to be a blank slate. But there is some availability of voice acting if you want to practice listening, but not terribly thorough as far as I can tell. Now, this is about as far as I've tried to get into the game myself. I'm just trying to record initial impressions of the language learning features before I actually try practicing language with it. But that's really all there is to show about this. Again, it just drew my attention because I think it is really good to have multilingual games being released that are taking into account the market of people who are wanting to play video games specifically for practicing their Japanese, and possibly even vice versa. So, for what it is very nice to see this, especially on the Switch Shop, which is a really good platform for this. But I guess that's about all to say about it for now. Thank you for watching.